For this video, I'm going to be talking about Slap City. It's a platform fighter, kind of like Smash Brothers, but way goofier. And obviously it's like goofy in the character design, and the stages are just completely stupid sometimes, but clearly that silly design philosophy also extends into the gameplay and the game design itself. I think it's important to talk about the game in comparison to Smash, because Smash has essentially just ruled that genre for as long as it's existed. If I had to put it simply, in Smash, the driving design philosophy is like, this would be really frustrating if your opponent did this to you. Let's not put it in the game. And in Slap City, the primary driving philosophy is, it would be really funny if you could do this to your opponent. Let's put it in the game. Spikes, or attacks that send straight down, in Smash are normally very risky options, but in Slap City, every character has like 5, and you're pretty safe going after any one of them. Some characters just have attacks that send them flying across the screen super fast for like no reason. There's even a button in this game called the clutch button that just makes you turn around, and it has some other effects, but it's really just exists to let you do cool stuff. But I mean, whatever. The point of the assignment is to like talk about a level. So I'm gonna talk about a stage I really like in this game. And while there are plenty of normal tournament legal stages in this game, I want to talk about this one called the Ascend Zone. All right, we're going to the Ascend Zone, bro.
No, I don't like this.
I think it's pretty cool. Like, while normally my friends will say something like, "God damn it, why did you pick this dumbass stage? Please pick something else." I want to make an argument for why a stage like this exists and is interesting, even if one of the reasons isn't competitive viability. For one, it completely changes how the players approach the fight, particularly by trivializing the neutral game. So what does that mean to somebody who touches grass? Essentially, in fighting game terms, neutral is when neither opponent has hit each other, usually because there's too much space between them, and they're looking for an opportunity to hit the other player, and in that case, the attacker goes into advantage, and the victim into disadvantage. Suddenly, it's a lot easier to hit the player again if you've already hit them once, and it's much harder to avoid getting hit if you've already gotten hit. The fight normally returns to neutral once one of the players have died, or if the person in disadvantage manages to get the player attacking them off of them. How the players manage neutral is one of the most important parts of a fighting game. Surprisingly, not getting hit that much is actually pretty good for winning a fighting game. A big part of neutral, however, is how the players manage their space. After all, you want to hit your opponent without getting hit back, and the best way is to be out of range. However, you're not getting out of range on this stage. As soon as the game starts, every character is close enough to present an immediate threat to you if you don't act quickly enough to avoid them. And in just 2 seconds, neutral is ended, and now you have to fight an uphill battle against an opponent that has control of the entire tiny little platform. On any other stage, you might land farther away safely and return to neutral, but on this one, there's nowhere to go but off stage, which is much more dangerous. And even if you do manage to make it back, your opponent will always be ready and waiting for you just to hit you right back off. It's not like you can go around them or anything. It's very hard to get out of disadvantage on this stage. There are plenty of different silly and funny stages across many platform fighters, but few fundamentally change how you have to approach the game like this one does. And this might sound awful, and it is, but this does give you a lot of opportunities if you're winning to do all of the funny things that this game lets you do. Along with honing your skills to the extreme, the fighting game community has long had an obsession with just doing something really cool and spontaneous. Every fighting game has its library of clips that have been circulating for years that everyone knows about and are super cool. Given the stage's super lopsided nature, I feel like it almost gives every player a chance to have that kind of moment for themselves. It's very fun. The last thing I feel has less to do with the actual experience of the stage, but more like the ethos of the stage itself. Thing is, the original platform fighter, Smash Brothers, was initially designed as a party game, but then effectively got turned into a competitive game by its fan base. In the years that competitive Smash has been around, its players have banned many elements of the original game. Most of the stages are banned for not being competitively viable. Items are always turned off, as well as final smashes, and there was even a top-level competitive player that once advocated for putting a jump cap on the game because he was frustrated that one particular player would jump a lot. Arguably, competitive Smash players have been a little overzealous in their attempt to create a perfect competitive environment, and I feel like this stage kind of picks fun at that idea. I mean, I think that's why it's called the Ascend Zone. It's like, no platforms to gain an unfair height advantage, no space to use unfair tactics like staying away from your opponent. This right here, this is the true competitive spirit.
Duck this one!